Alright, so for this project what we're going to do is we're going to look at this Jeep bumper, deconstructed Jeep bumper, and we're going to draw this in Autodesk Inventor. So the whole purpose of this project is that we can recreate a cover for this. So this one came with a plastic cover. So what we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to take some parts off of this, like these front cans, and we're going to be able to basically use this as a mounting bracket for a custom bumper that will go over top of it. So in Inventor, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new part, and one of the most difficult parts of recreating something like this is you have to go through and get accurate measurements for the entire thing. So the students have been going through getting measurements. I'm just going to use some rough measurements to show you the process to get started. Alright, so the way that we're going to create this part is with the sweep command. So the way that we're going to do a sweep command is we're going to start out by sketching. And we're basically going to end up with two different sketches. I'm going to start by sketching our profile in this XYZ or this YZ plane. So I'm just going to start out by drawing some lines, and I'm going to draw a line over here, and we'll say this is probably about 2 inches deep. So I can point it that direction, hit 2, enter. I'm going to draw up an inch, and then I'm just going to bend it around 0.25. So it's kind of like a C channel. This direction, I'm going to point in that direction, and I'm going to make this one 6 inches. And we could change these dimensions real easily after we're done by editing the sketch. So this is basically my profile, this C shape, kind of like the shape of the bumper. So I'd say finish sketch, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to do my second sketch. So this sketch I'm going to do on this view, so kind of like the top view. So right now my profile is oriented this direction. I'm going to do my the line that it follows in this direction. So again, I'm just going to do a line, and I'm going to start drawing right here. See if it matters where I start and end this line. So the bumper itself is probably about 6 feet long. So I'm going to zoom out quite a bit, and I'm going to make this 4 feet or 48 inches, and now it's going to bend this direction, and it's going to bend this direction down here as well. So I'm going to draw this line in, start at that end point, and we actually did measure this, the angle, and we're going to go 18 inches outwards. So I'll type in 18, I'll tab so that I can pick my angle, and hit enter, and now I have an 18-inch long line that's 17 degrees off of this one. So I could do the exact same thing again, or I could draw a line at the midpoint and then choose my mirror command. So I'm going to select my object to mirror that, click on mirror line, and I'm going to pick that line I just constructed, say apply, done, delete this line, and now I have the shape of the bumper in plan view. I say finish sketch. Now I'm going to do my sweep command. The first button is for my profile, so I can click on this and I can choose my profile. And I should be able to just click on that. And I had to click back and forth between these to get it to work, but now I can just click on that as my profile. Then I'm going to click on path. I think whenever I'm clicking on it, I'm deselecting it because it's automatically defaulting to that. Whenever I click on it the second time, it actually works. So I pick this line as my path, and what it does is it goes through, it follows the profile shape for that entire path. Now the only thing that I did wrong here is I have this C shape backwards. So I can say OK, accept that. If I want to, I could go back in to my very initial sketch, right click, edit sketch, and the only thing I'm going to do different is I'm going to take this whole thing and I'm going to mirror it. Select my objects, and I'm going to pick that as the mirror line. Apply, and it didn't give me an option to delete the original, so I'm going to have to go through and select those to delete them. And select those two objects right there. I finished my sketch, and whenever I go back to my sweep, you can see that it actually went through and did that profile. The only thing that's missing is this part right here, so I'd have to go back in and figure out why it didn't include that as part of the profile. So I'm going to go into my sweep feature, so I can right click on that and edit feature. Whenever I go into that, I'm going to reselect this profile because for some reason it didn't pick those pieces right there. So whenever I do that, that worked, and now you can see on the part that it made, it went through and added that part. So this is the basic start of my bumper. If I had the correct sizes and everything in there, it would be exactly the same shape. So the next thing that I can do with this is I can start measuring all my hole locations for mounting all the slots, and then start cutting those out of there. So I can do that real easily by creating sketches on surfaces. So for example, if I wanted a hole cut out of this right here, I would select that surface and then I would say create sketch, and it's going to create it right on that plane or right on that surface. And now I could go through and I could draw a hole, and I can extrude it after the fact. So I pick that hole and I say two, and to next we'll try that, and I say okay, extrusion has failed, so we'll edit it, we'll try a distance. And I extruded it the wrong way. So I'll look at this extrusion. Look at this extrusion again, edit the feature, and I'm looking for, select that. I don't want a new solid, I want to actually cut out of this. And I'm still not getting this as an option. So after looking at this object a little bit here and trying to do the extrusion through there, kept running into problems. One of my students asked if this was a 3D object because it doesn't look like a 3D object. So after looking at this and thinking about it a little bit more, whenever I look at this profile, it can't be a 3D object because it doesn't have any thickness to it. So no thickness at all. So it doesn't know that it's an object. And that kind of dawned on me whenever I edited the feature and I look at this, and it doesn't even give me an option for an output that is a solid object. So what I would have to do is I'd have to go back into, and I was just trying to do this for a quick demonstration purpose instead of actually creating it. And what I would need to do is whenever I'm measuring this, I would have to go through and create my profile with an actual thickness. I'm going to edit that sketch for the profile, and then I'm going to make a thickness. So we're going to assume it's like an eighth of an inch thick, or it's probably like a 10 gauge metal, something that thickness. So we'll go through and edit that and see if that works. So to do this, I'm going to use the offset command here, and I'm just going to select my profile and I'm going to offset it in. It asks me for a distance, how much I want to offset it in. I'm going to do 0.1. And then I just have to come in here and clean up the ends. So I have to draw lines to close the ends, make this a closed profile. And now I have a closed object. I'm going to finish my sketch, and I'm probably going to have to go back into this extrusion or the sweep. I'll edit the feature, and this time I'm going to pick the profile. I'm going to pick the profile again. And again, it's not letting me do that, so there we go. So I'll choose this as the profile. And it's still not giving me the option to fill that in. I'll pick my path. I'm going to go to top view, pick the path. So to actually make this work and turn into a solid body where we have the option in the sweep feature, I have to go in and delete the feature and then redo it. So whenever I have the options under the delete feature, I don't want this checked, consume sketches, because I want the sketches to remain. Once I have this done, now I can come back up here, I can do the sweep again, I can pick my profile, I think it's chosen. Then I can pick my path, and down here I now have the option for it to be a solid. So whenever I do that, I can say OK. Now it created a solid object. I have this solid part, and to go back to where I started with that, whenever I choose this surface and make a sketch on that surface, now I can create a circle on that surface in a sketch, and then I can take that circle and I can extrude it through the part.